The sneaker market is booming at the moment, with a forecast to reach a worth of $30 billion by 2030. And making some nice cash right now is simple and is a great source of cash for long-term passive investments and quick but very profitable flips. And better yet, there is close to zero risk involved. Today, I'll be teaching beginners everything you need to start reselling sneakers. And if you're slightly more experienced, stick around and you might learn something new. I'm going to be going over how to cop sneaker releases from Nike SNKRS, as that is the most accessible to most people. If you enjoyed this video, let me know, and I will expand on the topic to cover smaller retailers as well. Also, this video is going to be covering copying manual, as it is what beginners should first get into. If you'd like a video on how to cop sneakers using bots, let me know in the comments, and with a like on this video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Nike SNKRS is where Nike releases their most hyped shoes, and is the place where you will be copying your sneakers. To begin, make sure that your region is supported by Nike SNKRS. For example, if you live in Zimbabwe, make sure that Zimbabwe is on the regions list. After choosing your region, you should see the upcoming releases with a date and time. The time which is shown for the release is your local time. I was unsure about this when I was first starting out, so I just want to clear that up for you guys. It's not US time or ET time or any other time. It's your local time of your region. Nike SNKRS is also regularly updated with new releases, so you should be checking it once every day. Additionally, every single Nike account needs to be verified by a different phone number. Thus, you'll have to either buy accounts, or my preferred method would simply be to use a relatives and friends' phone numbers. All that it takes to verify is an SMS code, and you won't have to bother them with it again. If you're wondering why you need more than one Nike SNKRS account, I will explain all of that later. To check the margins on the shoes, you want to be using StockX Resale Marketplace. StockX Marketplace shows the resale prices people want to sell the shoes for, prices people want to buy the shoes for, and the prices that the shoes have sold for in the past when an ask meets a bid. As you get more into the sneaker game, you'll become more familiar with what's popular and what's profitable, and get a lot more comfortable and confident with pricing and reselling sneakers. But for now, simply check the retail price the shoes are selling on release, and then check the resale value of the sneaker that people want to pay for it. Remember, Nike SNKRS accepts returns, so if you're expecting a sneaker to resell well but it bricks, you can always return it and get your money back, meaning there's practically zero risk involved. You found a hyped release on Nike SNKRS, you confirmed it will be profitable, but how do you now go about purchasing the sneaker? You might be thinking, well duh, I just choose a size and purchase, but it's not that simple. See, because of how easy, simple, and profitable reselling sneakers can be, it's become immensely popular. It's simple supply and demand. The high demand makes the sneakers hard to get on release. The same high demand and low supply is also what drives the resale prices so high. In simple terms, copying on retail is not so easy. So let's get down to basics. There are three types of sneakers drops. There's a flow drop. This is essentially a first come first serve, nearly never used on Nike SNKRS. The second type is a Leo drop. This is essentially a raffle where you have 2 to 3 minutes to enter in as many accounts as you can before the winners are picked. The third type is a Dan drop. Essentially the same as Leo, but instead you have 10 minutes to enter your accounts before winning accounts are picked. Out of the three, Leo is the most common by far, with flow drops being the rarest by far. You can learn about specific shoe releases from numerous how to cop guides released on YouTube before hype drops, which will help you maximize your chances of copying for specific releases. Essentially, since hyped releases are most often raffles, you have to maximize your chances of winning by entering numerous accounts into the raffle pool. This should be simple, but just think of it like Nike picking accounts out of a hat. The more of those accounts are yours, the higher the chances are of one of your accounts being pulled. Nike does use methods to stop people from mass entering accounts. The first thing they can do is a temporary IP ban if more than 4 to 5 accounts are entered from the same IP. This ban is nothing serious, and it's usually no more than for 5 to 10 minutes, but it will mean that you will most likely miss out on the drop. The second restriction is credit card bans. This can occur if you use the same credit card for more than 5 accounts in one drop. Due to this, your successful checkouts may be cancelled or you will encounter errors. Let's go over how to bypass the IP restrictions first. To bypass the IP restrictions, VPNs no longer work on Nike SNKRS as they used to. Thus, you have two remaining options. The first is to use a proxy switcher. A ton of free proxy switchers are available on the Chrome web store, but I will not be going into detail of how to use proxies because this video would be way too long. Proxies are good if you want to make mass entries, not just 10 to 15 or so, more like 20 to 50 manual entries. Now on to option 2. This is perfect if you want to make slightly less entries, around 5 to 15. I doubt you can make too many more entries for Leo jobs anyway, as you only have 2 to 3 minutes to enter your account. This second method consists of splitting up your entries, for example, half on your home Wi-Fi and half on your mobile hotspot. This works because when you use your phone's hotspot, it actually has its own unique IP address. Now on to how to bypass the payment restrictions. To bypass the payment restrictions, you have to use more than one credit card, the amount depending on how many Nike accounts you have. As a general rule, you can use the same credit card for 5 different Nike accounts. If you don't have access to more than one credit card, you can create virtual credit cards completely for free using virtual credit card providers. The two most popular are Revolut and Privacy. Again, I will not be going into detail on how to create virtual credit cards, as these guides are already out there, and this video would simply be way too long. Now that we've gone over the most important things you need to know about reselling hype sneakers from Nike Sneakers, I'll be taking you through the setup of your browser before the drop. Each of your Nike accounts should be open on a different Chrome user. To create a new Chrome user, click on your profile picture on the top right of the browser and click Add User. Create as many users as you have accounts. Next, click on the 3 dots, go into Settings and Payment Methods, and save your credit card information. Then go to Addresses and save your address. The reason we want to do this is for our browser to autofill our information at checkout to maximize the amount of accounts we can get in the 2 to 3 minutes. This is very important, so don't skip this, as getting more accounts in will immensely increase your chances of copying a shoe. Prepare this autofill for all the Chrome users, and you're set. Remember to use a different credit card for every 5 accounts at checkout, and to split your IP up, preferably 4 accounts per IP address. Now that you know everything about copying the shoe and maximizing your chances, where do you sell it when you cop? StockX is a very reliable place to sell your sneakers, but people outside of the US can face large shipping costs, which will diminish your profits. Other places to sell your sneakers is eBay or local online marketplaces in your area. Thank you guys so much for watching this guide, and I hope you learned a lot. I highly encourage you to try the sneaker reselling hustle for yourself, and I've shared all the knowledge I believe you need to know to get started. I've tried making this guide as comprehensive and detailed as I could, but if I missed something or you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll be responding to every one of them.